Welcome to the Top Rope Podcast. Yeah, what do we want to talk about? Woo! Let's go. All right, well, it's a Tuesday, so we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw first, and I want to backtrack to NXT Battleground, I believe it was, and then AEW Double or Nothing. What do I remember? What sticks? That's what's fun about these things on the road, because obviously I have to pay attention to driving. So it's what sticks in my mind, what happened these past few days. When it comes to Monday Night Raw, first thing that pops into my mind is the explanation given at the top of the show by Paul Heyman on why Big Bronson Reed joined the group. I thought it was pretty weak. I thought it was pretty soft. I think they needed to dive into that a little bit more, because he gave Rollins, 7 tsunamis? And they pretty much just told Rollins' side of it. Like, whatever Paul Heyman said, basically saying that he forgive him, Rollins sees the bigger picture. I'm paraphrasing here. He used another specific word, which I can't really remember, but it's basically what he was saying. It was very loose. It wasn't very concrete, and I thought it was very poor. It did an okay job as far as Rollins' side goes, even though it wasn't great. But I say poor because why did Bronson Reed agree to join it? I want to hear from Bronson Reed, and maybe that comes out in the next few weeks over time. But right now, that's kind of just a little bit of a lingering thing that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because why would he agree to join him after he destroyed him? Doesn't he hate Seth Rollins? If you're supposed to be presenting him as a real threat and a badass and what he did to Seth and everything, then I need to hear from Bronson Reed. I don't need to hear from Seth. I need to hear why Bronson decided to let bygones be bygones and join him. I'll tell you how I would have wrote the thing, or how they might write it. You could simply do money. I know that might be a little bit of a cop-out, but you do the thing with Seth, saying you do this thing with Seth, saying that I'm able to just let it go. I'm gonna let it go because I saw what you could do to me. That's why I wanted to bring you in, and that's why, I gave you the world, gave you all this money. I'm pretty sure Bronson Reed said he liked money before. Then Bronson could say, I took the money. We're going to destroy everybody, yada, yada. That's a little bit kind of weak still, too, but at least it makes sense. Because, otherwise, what do you say as far as why Bronson Reed doesn't like Seth? Or doesn't not like Seth Rollins anymore? That makes sense on why he setting it aside. That would kind of make sense. The other thing I was thinking is, do these guys need a name? Do these guys need a name? They kind of started mentioning, I don't know if it was Heyman or Rollins, somebody said something about we are visionaries, but then I was like, because they could call them the visionaries, they could call them the revolutionaries. I think the visionaries would fit totally fine and perfect. That's the best I got. I'm sure I could think of some more better things, but yeah. Or the architects. Something like that. Does that work if it was Rollins and then you just add an S on it and then other guys do the same thing? I don't know. They could get it over. They've gotten a lot worse things over, that's for sure. I think those guys need a name. Second thing that popped into my head, and I know I probably missed bigger things, but hey, this is just what I'm remembering here. Liv Morgan being back, I think that's an interesting dynamic going on with Roxanne, and it's kind of funny, how Liv, after a cost them the match and everything, how Liv then blamed Raquel for what happened. Blamed Rodriguez and not Roxanne for what happened. So that's an interesting dynamic. The fact that they continue to get legs out of this Judgment Day stuff and it keeps going and going. I thought surely at one point we were going to break up. I still think they will. Especially everything going on with Balor and Dom. Dom throwing in the chair. Threw it a little too far again. Kind of a callback to what happened with him and his dad, I believe it was. Threw it in the middle. It's like, who are you throwing the chair to? But obviously you had to get in the middle so the stomp could be done on the chair or whatnot. And so, yeah, I think they could be headed for a split, maybe sooner than later. But we shall see. What else from Monday Night Raw? New Day champs. I mean, it was good for a little while, but I'm just over it. The tag team division and War Raiders, it's all War Raiders. They're okay. Creed Brothers are all okay, but just to me, this New Day run's just been kind of meh. Had so much potential for after what they did with Big E, and I just think it's been kind of meh. Like I should have been bringing him out even more than they did on the mic and having him getting booed out of the building. And it just didn't seem like it happened for very long. And now it just seems like we're wrestling matches and they're kind of just there as heels. It's not all that fantastic. Another thought on Monday Night Raw: the Braun Breaker looked like a damn Terminator. Holy cow. I think they even mentioned, I think Rollins mentioned something about it being a Terminator. I'm like, man, God, he could. If they came out with a new Terminator movie, he'd be freaking perfect for it. Other than that, that's about all that popped into my mind from Monday Night Raw. I'm sure Punk comes back at the end after Rollins qualifies. I guess the question then is who is going to be the third man with Punk if we're going to do a 3-on-3 at some point with Rollins, Breaker, and Bronson Reed versus Sami Zayn and CM Punk. I guess it might be Jey Uso. I was kind of hoping it'd be Roman Reigns, but when do we see Roman again? We just saw Cody come back at Saturday Night Main Event. We can transition to that now. But when do we see Roman come back? Is it before SummerSlam, leading into a match at SummerSlam? I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you. I would say he's back before SummerSlam, but I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. And we'll get into who wins Money in the Bank probably next week, but moving on to, let's talk about Cody coming back. And it's good. It's good. I just think things have kind of been not all that spectacular with late. It's like, I don't know. I get so much mixed feelings about Cena in his heel turn and trying to ruin wrestling and all that. At some points, I'm just like, this is not good. And just as a whole, just kind of right now. So super pumped Cody is back, getting things amped up a little bit more. Pretty solid match there at the end. It all made sense how that went down. That was good. But I mean, my God, man. John Cena, there's always been kind of the you can't wrestle thing. And I never thought he was all that terrible. Wasn't great for sure. But when you're that over as a character, obviously you don't need a whole crap ton of moves. You got to have some kind of arsenal, though. And he did. But now it's just, it's just not. He's not going to be able to put on 20, 30-minute classics. So they're just going to have to keep protecting him and put him in few tag team matches, just like they're going to do at Money in the Bank, and this and that, and a couple more defenses. Like, I just don't see him getting much legs out of this. I tell you what, now that Cody's back, I'm telling you, they're going to have to turn him back into a face before the end of this run. You have to. And I think that happens maybe after SummerSlam. I think Cody's going to come back. Cody's going to win this belt back at SummerSlam. Maybe that was the plans. Maybe it wasn't. I think it's going to happen now just because I think that there's been a lot of mixed reactions on the heel turn. I think Cody comes back. I've said it before. I think it's going to happen a little sooner than maybe I thought now. Cody wins it back at SummerSlam. Cena realizes the error of his ways. Maybe he doesn't shake Cody's hand at SummerSlam. Maybe he shakes it next night on Raw. Probably maybe at SummerSlam, though. Because then if he shakes his hand at SummerSlam, man, and then we could hear The Rock's, but then that's going to take away from Cody winning the belt at SummerSlam. So maybe we do that on Raw. And then Cena comes out, cuts a promo on Raw, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks later. Says, I want to call Cody out here, and and everybody's going to be thinking he's calling him out there. If he says, like, oh man, he's just going to screw him over again. No. And then he actually says, hey, I'm sorry, Cody. And then maybe The Rock's music hits, or maybe then we wait a week and The Rock's here to address John Cena, shaking Cody's hand, and then Cena realizes the error of his ways, and then he has one more match against The Rock. But I mean, that's good Lord, that would be 5 minutes, wouldn't it? So I just don't know. I don't know. I think, yeah, it's very dangerous putting two guys that are way past their prime in there to wrestle, and you're going to have a young guy in there like Cody to carry the match against Cena and stuff like that. So, and you're just going to have to, it's going to keep being convoluted. My God, how many times is Cena going to use the belt? Like, I love a good belt shot, but how many freaking times? Like, it just seems like rinse and repeat on the way they're booking these things. And geez, that R-Truth match lasted what, maybe 5 minutes? Good Lord. 10 at most. Yeah, but I mean, overall, Saturday night main event pretty good. Like I said, we got the debut, re-debut return of Bronson Reed and joining the Visionaries. I'm calling them. And joining the Visionaries. So that was good. Cage match, it was all right. I was a little surprised Priest won, but gotta give him a little push at some point. And people are like, what do you mean give him a push? He's gonna steal cage match. He's been getting a push. Well, I mean, just give him a win. Like, give him some credibility in his push is what I mean. And they did that. Interesting to see what happens with Drew. More whining. I don't know. Maybe he goes away for a little while. I don't know. Maybe been some rumors that he's hurt. I don't know. I'd stay off the dirt sheets. Kayfabe. He could be out for a while though. Like the only dirt sheet I usually get from my buddies. Like, I heard he might be out for a while. Well, okay, well maybe. Who knows? So that's about all. That's about all from Saturday night main event. Talk Battleground. Boy, oh boy, I thought Sol Ruka and was it Kalani? Yeah, she was the first champ, wasn't she? First women's North American champ. That was a hell of a match, man. Absolutely incredible. I'm a huge fan of Sol Ruka. That soul snatcher from the top. And them ladies hit it absolutely perfectly. That crowd was going bananas, man. That was a very, I'm not going to say weak, but it was a little bit of an underwhelming card on paper. Just whenever your NXT championship is not the main event, you got your the TNA championship is the main event, God bless Miles Bourne, but no in hell he was winning. Nice little story. But, like, wasn't all that spectacular of a card. But I thought the NXT Women's North American match was great. I thought the Jordan Gray, Stephanie Vakar, just two really, really promising young ladies, especially Vakar. Jordan Grace too, though, man. I think they both have some. Vakar could be there now, just like Julie is there now. But I heard she wanted this. I heard she chose. They were going to give her an option to go wherever she wanted. Whenever she came in, and she chose NXT so she could work on her English skills, hone her skills, and like, commendable, man. She's incredible. She's going to be next level before too long. Jordan Grace, I think, pretty much there. I just think she needs a little bit more work on the mic. Not that it's horrible. It's not. But just keep getting them reps on the mic. Keep getting that believability up. and I think she'll be on the main roster too. That was a great match. And then, I knew Trick was going to win it. I was like, there's no way the TNA Championship on a WWE NXT pay-per-view is the main event and you let a TNA guy win it. And it's not happening. It's not happening. And that crowd was incredibly hot for that match. Like, I was a believer in Joe Hendry at first, and I thought it was kind of cool. I never thought in a million years we would get to the level that we're at now, where he's having a match against Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Obviously, that was, had to fill in because of injuries, but with Kevin Owens. And then main event in WWE NXT pay-per-view. Wow. But that was a great match. Trick Williams, new TNA champion. He can go over there, help out, cross-promote. It's going to build TNA. Like, what a great relationship. They've been working together. I've been enjoying it for sure. And it's pretty spectacular. Let's talk a little bit about AEW Double or Nothing. First time that show's moved outside of Las Vegas. It's a 6-year anniversary. Every other year they've had it in Las Vegas. Makes sense, Double or Nothing, but we can gamble in other places too. You betcha.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto the I-64 West ramp to East St. Louis.
You betcha. So, when it comes to AEW Double or Nothing, I didn't think it was going to be Hangman. Looking back at it now, yeah, absolutely. Of course it's Hangman, the homegrown talent. He's got to be the one to take it off Moxley, right? Homegrown guy, get that thing out of the briefcase. As much as I've shit on them having it in a briefcase, boy, whenever that thing gets out of there, it's going to be one hell of a moment. And I think Hangman does it at All In Texas 7 weeks from whatever, a couple days ago. It makes sense. I thought it was going to be Ospreay, though, just because he's been on the come. He's been on the come for sure. No pun intended with it being Double or Nothing. But no pun intended with Tony Storm or anything like that either, because the come, that's in craps. That's a craps thing, guys. Throw a little dice. But, I don't know. It makes sense. It makes sense. And good on Hangman. He's done some fine work, but I never, even when he was AEW champion, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, cool. I think just felt like they were just doing it because he was a homegrown guy. Like, is he really this good? Like, I don't know. I think he's proven himself. Everything he's done with Swerve in the last year, even though some was absolutely probably a little too far and grotesque and over the line. Swerve drinking his blood, though, wasn't it? But anyways, it's great. It's fine. It's cool. And then main event, Hangman and Mox, though. I'm sure there'll be better matches on the card. What else from that show? Timeless Tony Storm retained her title over Mina. That was all right. The only reason that popped in my head because I was just watching the post-media press conference. Tony's okay. She's fine. She's a good job. Does a good job in the ring. But, I mean, on the mic, she's even more entertaining. So even in the post-media press scrum, that was some pretty funny stuff as usual. Anarchy in the Arena. Loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm not one of those person that's like, oh, I don't like that kind of wrestling, or whatnot. I love it all, man. I love technical wrestling. I love the hardcore. I love it all. And I'm not going to tell anybody else what to love and what not to love. They can love whatever they want to, but for me, I'm soaking it all in. I love professional wrestling, plain, pure, period, simple. I love it all, man. So that was great. That was great. I give I think I gave that match. Obviously, I can't really look at my notes now. I think I gave that match a minus. Overall, the pay-per-view right on that B+, A- range, right on the line there. Like, say what you want about AEW's week-to-week TV programming, but man, whenever it comes to their pay-per-views, they usually put on some fantastic shows. Double or Nothing was no different. Try to think of a few of the other matches we saw. For whatever reason, the match that I don't even remember who was in it. I think it was a 3-on-3 match. It was right between, I believe, Anarchy in the Arena and the main event. I think we had like 7 or 8 shows in this card, guys. It's too much. One match too much. I don't mind long shows. I really don't, but that show was 4 hours and 20 minutes. Just kidding. That show, it was right at 4 hours and 20 minutes. That's too long. That is too freaking long, man. You gotta stay under 4. 4 max. You gotta stay under 4. And they could have done that if they would have got rid of that match with Paragon. I hate that. I don't like their new name at all. I'm like, why can't they still be undisputed or whatever? But anyways, that aside, I thought this other thing popping in my mind now. Mark Briscoe stretcher match should have been a oh God, who the hell was he fighting? Oh, that's bad. Even after pausing for 10 seconds, I forget who he was fighting. I just remember him being all bloody as hell, and just I remember thinking, you got a couple of stretchers. You don't even use the stretcher to throw him into the ambulance. It was an ambulance match. That wasn't a stretcher match. That was an ambulance match. I love the callback later in Anarchy in the Arena whenever they get all of the Death Riders and company, got a bunch of them in the ambulance. You know, and they're trying to hold the doors shut on them. I like that. That was a good callback. God, what else was on that show? Yeah, tag team match, for the titles, It was all right, I suppose. But I don't know. I just kind of feel bad for MJF. It's not horrible. It's not horrible in all the Hurt Business stuff. Like, it's kind of working, but I just feel bad for MJF not being in that main event level, because that's where he should be. Just hope he didn't screw up by not going to WWE when he had the chance. I don't know how long this contract is, but I'm really not trying to shit on AEW here. I love AEW, but it's a step down for sure. Don't care what anybody says. It's the truth. It's a step down. It's high, but it's a little under WWE. Let's be honest here. So if MJF's in the second tier company and he's not in the main event, like, kind of hurting his credibility. So will I believe him much if he ever does come to WWE? I think I can. I think if he gets back up there, then I might. That leads me to thinking about Mercedes Moné. I was talking with Scotty, co-host sometimes on the Top Rope podcast, about, the greatest 4 horsewomen of all time. And he's like, Mercedes is probably number 2. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, she went over to AEW. Like, she didn't stick around, like, so she's been in the second tier for a while. Like, the only way for me is if she stays up there is if she continues to just be undefeated and have all the belts and go on to beat Timeless Tony Storm at Double or at All In and have all the belts. Like, then maybe, but like Mox, talk about the Shield, like Mox is 4, no doubt about it, just because he left. And all those other guys, Rollins and Reigns, have done great in WWE, even though Mox is a champion. And he's been champion, like, I don't know, he's just not there. He's not going to be as high as those other ones. I think in Mercedes' case is a little bit different, because what they're doing with her is working the Death Rider stuff, and Mox holding the briefcase, like, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, Anarchy in the Arena definitely helped them a little bit. Hopefully they can have a nice build, but I just personally never been a huge Jon Moxley fan. I don't like the way he registers. I don't like the way he sells. It's just not believable to me, and that just could be a personal thing, and my eyes just don't like it. Exactly what he's doing and the way he moves, I don't like it. It's not believable to me. Yeah, it could be just a personal preference thing, though. But anyways, this train's getting a little bit off the rails. And but Mercedes and Jamie Hayter, that was a damn fine match. That was good, man. I was hoping we were going to get Darby Allin or somebody else in that Anarchy in the Arena, maybe Orange Cassidy. God, I would have loved it if the lights would have hit and we get Darby coming down out of the rafters. Maybe with just, I don't know, some lights flickered or something cool. And he drops down right in the middle of them, but I don't know, he just climbed Mount Everest not too long ago, so he might still be recuperating from that. But the lack of returns at Double or Nothing was a little bit shocking. It seems like we've gotten some great returns there, if I'm not mistaken. That's where we saw the double debut of Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole. Could be wrong on that, but regardless, we've seen some great returns in AEW at some of their pay-per-views or great debuts. So the fact that I think it was Hook was the only one really that came back. So that was, a little bit disappointing, but it was, Anarchy in the Arena was still great, so I wasn't too mad about it. I think that's about all I can remember. Yeah, that's about it. We're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. I'm sure I missed some stuff from every single show. Like, my memory's decent, not spectacular. Well, it's not my memory; it's more the recall of things. Like, but then if I had my piece of paper, I'd be like, oh yeah, and then I'd start remembering details from every single match. It's my memory's all right, but my recall sometimes not the best. So we're doing these wrestling on the road things, and something comes back in my mind, like it worked, it stuck with me, and that's the whole point when you watch wrestling is getting people to remember stuff. That's why people talk about when they go away for a long time. Oh man, I don't know, are they going to remember me? Oh, I don't know. They're worried about them getting forgotten or not getting cheered or whatever. Well, did you make an impact so they would remember you? If you did, then you're probably getting to get cheered and you're probably going to be remembered. How she works, bub. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like, follow, subscribe. This has been the Top Rope Podcast. God bless.